basketball superstar is about to sign a Nike endorsement deal worth $28 million.
It pisses me off when people are like, she's not the face of the league.
Who would be?
What?
Hey everyone, welcome back. We've got a big one today, so let's not waste time and get right into it. Nike just handed Caitlin Clark a $25 million deal, and she hadn't even finished her rookie WNBA season yet. The night was scripted down to the last detail. Executives ready for her to sign, smile, hold up the jersey, say a few nice words, and head home. But Clark had a different plan. In front of a packed room of reporters, Nike staff, and her own teammates, she turned away from the cameras and looked straight at her teammate Sophie Cunningham. Whatever she said next made the whole room go silent. No clapping, no flashes, because this wasn't a photo op anymore. This was a statement that ended up reshaping the entire conversation around women's basketball. Before we get to what happened on that stage, you need to understand just how rough the pay situation has been in the WNBA for decades. Veteran players who gave 10, 12, 15 years to the game were earning salaries that barely covered rent in some cities. The average WNBA salary sat in the low five figures for most of the league's history, and even top players rarely cracked $250,000, compared to NBA rookies pulling in over $1 million just for showing up. In the offseason, many WNBA players flew overseas to Europe, Australia, China, Russia, and Turkey just to keep earning enough to play basketball for a living, spending months away from home. Angel Reese, one of the league's biggest young stars, said flat out that her WNBA check didn't cover her rent. Endorsement money was almost non-existent too. Only a handful of players in WNBA history ever got their own signature shoe. Starting with Cheryl Swoops back in 1995, followed much later by Elena Del Don, Maya Moore, Candace Parker, and Sabrina Ionescu in 2023. That was the reality Caitlin Clark stepped into as a rookie in 2024, and she blew it apart almost instantly. Her Nike deal, reported around $25 to $28 million, dwarfed Sabrina Ionescu's previous record deal, which had been worth roughly 7 figures. It wasn't generosity from Nike, it was cold business math. Every arena she played in sold out weeks ahead. TV ratings spiked whenever her name was on the schedule. Her gear flew off shelves. And she pulled in a completely new fan base of young women and girls who'd never watched a WNBA game before. Her draft night alone pulled 2.45 million viewers, more than 4 times the previous record. For most athletes, signing a deal like that is the finish line. You cash the check, do the press tour, and ride the wave. Nobody would have blamed Clark for doing exactly that. But instead, she took the biggest financial win of her career and gave part of it away, using a real contract and a real pair of custom shoes to do it. That Nike event had a printed schedule, cue cards, a special gold-stitched jersey, everything mapped out to the letter. A short film played first, tracing Clark's journey from her high school days in Des Moines, Iowa, through her record-breaking run at the University of Iowa, and into her brutal rookie season, the bruises, the hard fouls, the cheap shots officials missed, the trolls, the exhaustion, but also the sold-out arenas and little girls in her jersey watching her like a superhero. When the lights came back up, a Nike executive brought out the gold jersey. Clark took it, held it, stared at it a beat longer than expected, then turned away from the executive and the cameras and faced Sophie Cunningham instead. She said calmly, "This isn't just for me. This is for every woman who shows up, fights hard, and has her team's back." Dead silence. Then a black display case rolled out, and Clark pulled out a personalized shoebox and handed it straight to Sophie. Inside were custom Indiana fever-colored sneakers stitched with the phrase that's defined Sophie's whole career, "Never give up." Then Sophie noticed folded paperwork tucked underneath. Not Clark's contract, but her own brand new Nike endorsement deal. Clark had told Nike executives she wouldn't sign unless her teammate got a deal too. Sit with that for a second, because this just isn't how professional sports works. Leverage is supposed to be used for yourself. That's the whole game. That's what agents and financial advisors teach. Clark broke that rule completely. Sophie stood frozen for a full 30 seconds, just holding the box, and when the room finally reacted, it wasn't polite applause. It was the kind of reaction people get when they know they've just witnessed something unforgettable. And here's why it had to be Sophie specifically. She's a huge reason Clark survived her rookie season physically intact. From game 1, Clark had a target on her back for being too good, too visible, too fast for a league that wasn't ready for her. She took harder fouls, extra elbows, missed whistles. Kennedy Carter's hard foul early in the season became national news, and it was part of a pattern people are still arguing about today. Sophie wasn't chasing endorsements or camera time. She did the thankless physical work of protecting her teammate, throwing her own hard fouls to send a message that cheap shots on Clark would have consequences. She became the enforcer, the unofficial insurance policy, stepping in every single time officials missed a call or tempers flared. Late in the season, she picked up a foul of her own shielding Clark, and afterward said on camera she'd do it again. And meant it. That's who she's always been, going back to her time with the Phoenix Mercury, and even earlier at the University of Missouri. Clark noticed every bit of it quietly, and this Nike moment was her way of saying, "I see you," to the teammate who took hits meant for her. When Clark said, "People talk about the plays she makes, but Sophie makes the plays nobody sees," that wasn't scripted. That was real, and you can't fake that kind of loyalty. In the days after, Nike had a choice: treat it as a nice one-off story and move on, or rebuild the entire campaign around this partnership. They chose the second option. Nike had already watched women's basketball explode. The 2023 NCAA championship between Iowa and LSU drew 9.9 million viewers, the most watched women's college basketball game ever, largely because of Clark. By the time she was drafted, Indiana Fever season ticket sales had jumped over 1,000%, with road games selling out in cities that had never sold out a WNBA game before. So Nike scrapped the solo shoe launch and rebuilt the whole thing around this partnership instead. Compare that to how Nike has told athlete stories before. Michael Jordan's early campaigns were all about one man conquering the world alone. Kobe Bryant's era was pure relentless individual drive. Even Serena Williams' campaign centered on one woman against everyone else. This was the first time in Nike's history a major signature campaign was built around teamwork instead of solo stardom. And it worked precisely because nobody planned it in a boardroom. It happened organically on a stage in Indianapolis. Nike built short films from real footage, Sophie shielding Clark from hostile road crowds during warm-ups, the two of them cracking up on the team bus after a rough loss, staying late after practice to run extra reps together. Their co-branded merchandise sold out within hours of dropping. And that's the story, not just a shoe deal, but a rookie who had every reason to keep the spotlight to herself, and chose instead to share it with the teammate who'd been quietly protecting her the entire time.